Yo, this is a response to Digibro's The Purpose of Anime video. And I am sitting down in a chair in this video because I want to be nice and extra comfy while I talk to you, because this is candid, this is unscripted shit, this is rare footage of me in the wild. And I wanted to come to you, and I set some good tunes right now, creating a nice, beautiful polyphony for you to enjoy while we relax, get comfy yourself, and I take you on this journey where I clear up perhaps some of the most important things you'll ever hear in your entire life. Alright, so Digibro, I respect that you're thinking. The cogs are moving, you're thinking about things. You're moving past the peasants. And you said that on your Twitter, that you are feeling a disconnect from all the low levels, all the people that, all the power level, the low power level fools that can't do anything, that get fucked up. So I respect that, but we gotta dig deeper. You're only scratching the surface, kid. You're looking for air. You're swimming up from the depths and you're looking for air, but you're gasping and you're not quite making it. So I'm gonna throw you a line. So yes, art provides information. That's the purpose of it. It's an industry of information. It's an information industry, just like the news, just like anything. It's just information. And you're right. You're right about that society stuff. That it helps you with society, helps you know your place, know how society, gives you insight and all that shit. And that's all true. Yes, for sure it helps you with that. But, it's not that simple. It's not just like, okay, go flounder around, find some information that helps you manage with society. There is a certain tool that is a necessity for all human beings. And it's the thing that helps them. It's the main tool, the number one tool, and it's a necessary tool that helps them get their place in society. And it is God, or gods if you're polytheistic or whatever. And religion is a topic that has just kind of gotten turned into a used tissue in recent decades. But I'm here to describe the truth of God and religion and what it has to do with otaku shit. So atheists, just step back, take your Mountain Dew and your euphoria and go home. This is not for you. Or perhaps it's more for you than anyone, who knows. So I talk about drawing power on my channel a lot, how the otaku draw power from the works they consume. If you're a real otaku, you draw power from that shit. And I got the type A otaku, I said he's a little more masculine, type B a little more feminine, blah, 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 blah. You draw power, and a lot of people are like, what do you mean draw power? I don't even get it. Like, and how is like a out of shape, low ambition otaku drawing power from anything? Well, the thing about it is that there's just one thing in life there's one abstract entity that we draw power from, and it's God or gods. And so what that is you might be saying, but I don't. You might be saying, but I don't believe in God. So how do you draw power from something that is imaginary? And you might also be thinking, if you're like a Christian or something, you might be thinking, oh, what about non-intervention though? What about the non-intervention clause? God doesn't intervene, so even believing in God doesn't actually give us help from God, doesn't give us the power to fly or defeat our enemies or anything with any greater strength than our body can naturally provide. But first of all, that's bullshit. That is bullshit, and you're going to see why in a little bit. But second of all, at the very least, God or your gods are providing you purpose, duty, responsibility, morality. And these are things that make humans excel. They're the things that make you metaphorically fucking fly, man. They are the shits that makes you... they will make you into an anime protag, man. And you want that shit. You don't want to miss out on that shit. And that's before any sort of ideas that God is actually intervening with anything. It's vital shit, man. You need to see gods in this world or you will fail. Now, the otaku are a little bit different. The otaku media is expressing, real otaku media is expressing religion. It's expressing a very specific religion, a very specific God. What's interesting about it is that it's a different type of God. It's not necessarily the God of the world, that natural world that we live in. It's sort of like if you imagine that there's like a world and then there's like an Ura world, like a reverse world. It's sort of like the coin, two sides of the coin. You got sun and moon, light and shadow, yin yang, masculine, feminine. Well, the otaku, they pray to a God that lives on the flip side, on the Ura world, the shadow, the feminine. And because of that, they become a little dame, as some have put it, a little bit perverted, a little bit strange. And as a result, the otaku are meant to be the minorities. They're meant to live on the underbelly of things. I mean, they're fucking weird. I mean, I consider myself one of them, and I'm pretty fucking dope in terms of how I aesthetically live in a way that is pretty fucking original. So anyway, I want to do what Digibro was doing, take some works, take some examples, and do the same thing he was doing, but I want to do it while talking about God, talking about the otaku God. So I just pulled a bunch of random shit from my shelf. Stop fucking sneezing. I pulled a bunch of random shit from my shelf, and I will just flip through some examples of shit. All right, here's an interesting one. I actually didn't fucking read this yet, but I want to. This is the sequel to Orphan. It was published, I don't even know when, but fairly recently. So Orphan, that's an interesting work. Orphan is, I'm talking about the original, I didn't read this. The motherfucker. Orphan is a work with he's a bishonen, but he's a pretty masculine dude, Orphan. And I would say that is a work that is definitely on the type A side. Like I said, the type A is like, the more masculine otaku and shit. But what's interesting is that the type A works, they offer a lot of conventional relatability in them. Yes, they have lots of real world human interactions, stuff that's pretty relatable to the average person, pretty relatable to one who subscribes to the natural order of things, the natural world's gods. But even the type A otaku and the type A works, they too reflect, they too are denizens of the Ura world. And the thing about them is that, to a very large extent, the thing about them is that they want to come out of the Ura world. And they want to walk along the surface with men, kind of like, Little Mermaid or some shit. They want to walk with the men on the surface, not like dudes. I'm talking about mankind. They want to walk along with mankind on the surface. And that's what creates a type A otaku. That's why they reach for more masculine things, because masculine is conventional, it's real world, it's the sun side. It's not the Ura world. It's the Ue world, or the Maya world, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that is where the type A's reside. But they came from the Ura world, and they live there. And you'll see that the type A's struggled a lot because of that, and that's probably why they died off. I mean, Satoshi Kon, his entire career was spent flipping out about how he fucking can reconcile his otaku ways with society, and sure enough, he fucking dies young. It's a fucking tragedy. Oh, his name is Kon, by the way, not fucking Khan. He's not a fucking Mongolian barbarian, for Christ's sake. All right, here we got some seinen shit, Crying Freeman, and Jesus. And these are they have some type A attributes, but especially you'll notice with a lot of the seinen stuff, it can go kind of multiple ways, or sometimes it's just sort of actually it can go three ways. Usually it's promoted shonen, where it's just kind of like a shonen work that's edgier. And then you get shit that's what I call freshman, because it acts like a college freshman. And it's really self-conscious, and it's trying to be Jesus is not that. it's trying to, Jesus is cool, but it's trying to be like deep and shit, and it's just kind of failing and shit. It's obviously just self-conscious and it's stupid as fuck. Anyway, and then the third thing that they can be is what I like to call, they can either be just non-otaku at all, they just could have been like a movie or something, and they could be kind of like type C. And if you look at like Jesus, that it would definitely fall into that. Like, yeah, it's got like a Bishonen protagonist and shit. Well, he's not really shonen; he's more like a Biseinen. But and it has that aesthetic to it. It's got that flair. It's clearly like likes otaku media and shit. But is it at any shape or form part of the Earl world? Probably not. I would say probably not. I don't know. At any rate, it's drawn on more conventional power. If you're an otaku, you're probably not going to feel duty. You're probably not going to feel that morality and that duty from God in it. You're probably just going to feel really normal shit. You might feel like you're looking at like a cool person in real life, but that's about it. All right, now let's look at some other shit. We got... let's see, what do we got here? A ton of shit. Okay, this is an interesting one. We got Black Hat here. We got Brody's go. We got Black Hat here. This is an interesting one. This was written by Yabuki, who went on to write Telebru under the pen name Hasemi, which he pretends is a different person and obviously isn't. He was interesting because he started out more on like the Type A side. He swapped over to the Type B side. And that kind of proves my point. Like, you wouldn't normally be able to switch like that if you didn't just go to the same God, the same feminine God. And what that God is, what the otaku God is, I call her true God. And it is a she. It is a she. And because it's feminine. You know, the surface world, it's a masculine world. So, we talk about, the lion. The lion eats the lamb. And the gazelle and shit, because it's powerful, it's masculine. We live in, we form natural patriarchies and shit, and men are physically stronger and shit, and you just have to abide by that. Sometimes it sucks, but you have to abide by power, and you can't neglect masculinity if you're a man, or you will suffer. And the thing about that is the otaku they're looking to bend the rules a little. They're looking to work in a world that doesn't necessarily so confined to that masculine dominance. They might like a way where maybe just morality, maybe just being the righteous one makes you win. Here's a good one I just saw. Fucking Kenshin. Kenshin, man. Total Type A work, but you can really see that kind of feminine principle in it, where it's like Kenshin is a man of morality, man, and he wants his morality to win him battles, and it does. It wins him battles. Doesn't matter if he's disadvantaged as shit using his reverse blade and all that bullshit, that fucking Sakabato. He can fuck dudes up because he is moral, and he has that true God behind him. He's got the feminine God behind him. Alright, so let's take another fucking work. Let's take this. Maho Shoujo Koko ne wa Kakukatariki. Yeah. This was just a kind of sort of very popular these days, shonen, seinen, maho shoujo. Not a shoujo maho shoujo, but shonen or seinen maho shoujo is pretty popular type of genre. And it's funny because the maho shoujo is an interesting beast because she is something of a prophet, you might say, sort of like a prophet of true God. She's meant to sort of reflect the form and purpose of true God. It's a symbol of morality. She's a fragile girl, but she brings with her this power that comes from the morality, that comes from the love and the peace that is to be spread through these moral intentions. And it's turning that morality into power and skipping over that masculine barrier. If you believe that, and as an otaku, in real life, if you honestly believe that, if you see true God as I do, then you too can draw power. You too can skip over the masculine barriers, and you can win. Like, if right now, I haven't worked out in like so long. I've been like such a piece of shit. I've been so fucking neglectful of my lifts and shit. Right now, if I got jumped by a pack of 10 thugs, I guarantee you, I would waste every single one of them, just like in anime, because I have true God on my side. I would give them the fucking basilisk scare, and they would all drop. Like I got hockey or some shit. They just drop. Like I'm Baki the grappler in the classroom, sleeping with his eyes open, making people tremble. That's what I do, because I have true God. And you can too, if you find true God. Alright. Canon. Is an interesting one. Because the Gal games and shit, they were interesting because they were kind of like finding a world, finding an ordinary life. In canon, you get Yuichi. It became very much the template, and I'm sure canon wasn't the first to do it, but it became a very template story. His parents go overseas, he goes to live with his cousin, whatnot, all that shit. It is about living in a average, ordinary world where nothing is remarkable, nothing's overblown. There's no Mahou Shoujos or anything, but it's about seeing true God in your ordinary life, seeing it in the girls, and as their forms reflect the form of true God, and they bring forth that response of I must be romantic with these girls. I must protect them. I must learn about them. It's a form of devotion to true God, and it's a form of being like, I want to see this world where true God is among us. It's almost like maybe the Earl world looks similar to daily life in canon. Who knows? Here's an interesting one. Fate. Now, this is a story that's been told a jillion times. One of the most early notable examples was probably the original Tenchi OVA series, those original 7 episodes, which were definitely the best in the series. And they were, they're about having that duty you have a harem and shit, and you have this harem of like powerful, capable people around you, powerful girls and shit. But there's a time when you gotta become a man. You're just this normal dude. But there's a time where you gotta step up to the plate and bring out your inner power. Where does that power come from? Did they lift weights? Well, maybe a little bit. I mean, Shiro works out. I know Tenchi worked out and shit. But like, you get other works like Shakugan no Shana, Shakugan no Shana, where the main character, he didn't fucking work out at all. He's just an average dude, and he whoops ass eventually. And how do these characters don't work out enough to gain fucking superpowers? That doesn't make sense. You never get superpowers no matter how much you work out. So what's the power coming from? It's coming from morality. It's coming from true God. And this is an important story. This story of a man who must rise up and take action. It's an important story. And that's why it flips my shit up when people are talking about this lack of originality. We don't want to blindly chase originality. We want originality within our religion. I mean, how many times did the Bible repeat itself? I'm sure other holy books repeat themselves a jillion times. It's important. How many times do they just, dig up the same stuff and try to understand it deeper and deeper, try to get it? It's repetition. If you go to St. Peter's Cathedral, how many did they just deck the walls with just similar paintings over and over and over again? Each one is beautiful and individual in its own way, but at the same time, the repetition, it just speaks that God is everywhere and that God is among us, and that we must see God at all times. We must never lose sight, and we must see her from every facet. Interesting one. Here's an interesting one. Here's a game I hold in a very, very close to my heart, school days. And this is an interesting one. This is a story about seeing, I talked about canon, which is sort of like we live in the Ura world, where true God is among us, and it's ordinary, but it's also beautiful and reflecting of those principles of the Ura world, where things follow a bit of a different way, where the priority is on solving these girls' problems and whatnot. School Days is an interesting one where it's sort of like the Earl world if like a wormhole opened from like this very negative side of the surface world, of the Maya world or the Ule world, the conventional world, where it's like all the negativity in our conventional world just sort of got funneled into the world where true God resides, where everything is supposed to be great and holy and moral. And it's fucking shit up. And this is a great story because it reflects what we have to face as otaku on the surface world. We need to have true God with us at all times, backing us in everything we do. But because we live on the surface world, not in the Ura world, we can't simply live like Shiro and gain the ultimate power. But we can channel what he's channeling and achieve equivalent results. And School Days is about dropping us into a setting that's more similar to what we must face. We must face corruption. We must face decadence. We must face perversion. And while we, otaku, are perverted and strange and whatnot, we want to cure those who aren't meant to be different. We want to cure them. We want to give them peace. We want to give them happiness and health. And that is the true purpose of the otaku. That is what it's all about. It's about getting powerful. It's about seeing true God, drawing that power. Doesn't matter if you're type A, type B, or something in between. You must draw that power. And you must save the world.